Hi everybody, I am back from the Independence Day dance camp and today is vlog day 17th, July 7th, so start date 2022-0707. Instead of talking about the camp, today I actually kind of want to switch to a different topic that is on my mind at the moment. I was having a great time. Everything was very, very busy. So I had an exhausting and busy past 5-6 days where I was in the camp learning a lot, learning through a fire hose per se. So I wasn't really thinking about my life or things that that I need to do, but I felt like as soon as I landed in Chicago, my mind was pulled back to the reality where there's so many things I feel like I have to do and being overwhelmed, which I feel like I shouldn't, but it's hard to control. Like I can't really control my mind from wondering about my trying to start my effort in trying to start my own business that is so far not making as much progress as I would like, and my personal life where there are also things that I would like to progress that is not progressing at the moment, that everything seems to be caving in on me that I don't know how to get out. Perhaps I do, but I think everything seems very slow. I don't know if you know what I meant. I feel like these vlogs are kind of like my daily diary in a way, maybe not getting into too personal things, but really what is on my mind, and I hope you don't mind that of me doing it this way. So during the camp, so let me back up. I feel like sometimes, I don't know if you feel like the world is talking to you, or maybe some higher power is talking to you, telling you things that you need to do, right? And I have been in a pretty depressed mode since yesterday, and partially is because also coming home to see my pup's eyes that are not feeling very well, even though he is feeling better, but it's not feeling very well. It's just everything is at a very downturn. The economy is bad, so I've been trying to figure out how do I get myself out of it, right? And I really can't find a way. And today I was on social media and I came across an ad from this company called Mindvalley, and it talks about our brain power. And as I was listening to it, I feel like it seems kind of like deja vu, because I feel like I kept hearing things like that about the mind, about breathing. And I don't know if you remember in the beginning of my video logs that I was talked about my dance partner who start reading about this guy, the Wim Hof method, where he's able to do all these things that seemed impossible, like climbing a huge, very tall mountain without wearing really a lot of winter protection. He's able to submerge himself in very icy water without getting hypothermia, that he's able to control his mind, and doing all these feats that seems almost impossible for humans to do, and he was able to do it by this breathing and controlling his body. And then I was at the camp and they talk about this method of stretching, these breathing exercises, and then today I listened to this method from, I don't know if you heard of it, it's from this guy named Jose Silva, and So this guy named Jose Silva, that he talks about our mind is so much more powerful than we think, and that we are all that potential is kind of trained out of us as we grow older, because apparently we are probably at the height of our potential by the age of 4, but then we go downhill from there, and partially I think is because of people we hang out with, the educational system, our caretakers, that discourages us from using the potential of our mind. That he was very interested in psychology. He did all these studies, learning about hypnosis. But the breakthrough came about when he was trying to help his daughters, his children, from getting better grade in school, where he discovered that his daughter was trained to have ESP, and I haven't looked that up yet, which means kind of reading of somebody else's mind. Like his daughter was able to almost read his mind, to anticipate what he was going to say and what he was going to do afterwards. And that's something that a lot of people, a lot of scientists have said this is something that you're born with and not something that you can train. But apparently he was able to train his kid, his daughter of 10 years old, to have. So he developed this system of helping people achieve a better potential, of using his mind and exercising our mind, getting into different states like alpha, beta, delta, and theta states, where we're able to establish and accomplish more than we think we can. And so I know that I'm going all around the place, but I just feel like they're all talking about a very similar topic here, where that in order to achieve what we want to achieve, we have to control our body. And how do we control our body and control our mind? It's actually, like controlling your body is really how to exercise and control our mind, or utilize our mind or brain to do what we wanted to do. And I feel like the problems that I have right now is that I can't control my mind. Once in a while, I'm in this very optimistic state because I'm trying to ignore everything that's happening. But then once in a while, I'm in this very depressed mode because I can't control my mind to think otherwise, to feel that I'm always very depressed. Everything is going bad. I don't know how to get out of it, and I can't do anything, or I'm not doing it fast enough. And I believe a lot of us are in the same situation, right? One way or the other. That is why we are not achieving what we want to achieve. That is why we always wanted to make a better version of ourselves, but we are unable to, because our mind is weak. We are not using our potential. We're not reaching where we want to go. So I listened to this ad for maybe the entirety, for about 10 minutes. They start talking about, that what he wanted to sell us. So I looked up this guy, Jose Silva, and I had credit for my Audible, because I was trying to figure out what I'm going to use my Audible credits for. And before, I was like, I just don't want to read another motivation book about how to make more money in your life, because I feel like it's helping, but it's not really helping me, and I don't feel like I'm making a lot of progress, or at least not this breakthrough of my mind to set my mind to the right place to actually go after what I wanted to go after, especially with all of these negative opinions and suggestions, comments that I'm getting from my friends and from my family. It's just really not helping, and I can't get my mind out of it, and I think that's the hardest part for me right now. So I looked that up, and I actually used one of my credits for the Silva Method book that I am going to go into and listen to, and hopefully that I can actually make my mind and my brain stronger to achieve what I want to achieve. And just to give you a little bit like a quick insight of what I was thinking about, is because of this Silva method that the guy who was doing the ad, right? He said he is a Silver Method graduate. He used it. He At one point of his life, he didn't have a good job. He was doing sales because he lost his computer job. So he was selling software to law firms, where he was going through the yellow pages and going through each law firm to call them, cold call, to try to sell them stuff, because he didn't have a salary. He had whatever he was able to sell, he can get some money for it. And to that point, he was actually to a point where he was not making any money. He was losing money and trying to make ends meet. And somehow he run across this class. So he spent a couple $100 and he flew out to Los Angeles and he took this class for 2 days, either 2 or 4 days. And he came home, he was practicing it. And the first week, as he was practicing, that he somehow developed, he was using his mind for this intuition of, instead of going down the white pages of this area that he's going to call every law firm alphabetically, he used the mind training method, and he just kind of went with his feelings of which one he should call. And for the first week, he doubled his sales. And he initially thought this is just pure luck, right? That he was able to do this, but he continued to practice, and he continued to use a different method that he learned for the second week, and he was able to double sales in that week. So, and then he used a different method again the week after, and he was again able to sell double his sales. So he got promoted in like the first 9 months or a year, 4 times, where he was actually promoted to a point where he went to New York and opened his own branch. He was taking care of that. So like he said that nothing changed except for when he was learning about the Silver Method to train your brain to tap into a greater potential, that that we can, in a way, bend reality. A lot of times people always says, why is this person so lucky, right? This person is able to, everything this person able to do, he's successful in it. And maybe he just have a better brain potential. I don't know. Okay, you know how sometimes you feel like somebody's reading your mind, and maybe it's not luck or coincidence. Sometimes we dismiss it as miracles or dismiss it as coincidence, right? But maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe it is our mind speaking to us, or maybe we do have a greater power, like psychic power almost. It seems kind of far-fetched, but it was kind of funny because that makes me think of when I was at the camp. I was playing this airplane game with my dance partner, and every time I roll, I'll be thinking like, oh, I want like a 4 so I can kill off his plane, or next thing, like, I want a 2, and he's been complaining the entire game. He's like, how the hell do you do this? How do you roll what you want? Like, every time that I needed something to, let's say for a step that I need to kill him off or whatever, and I will roll that exact number, and almost like 90% of the time. And he complained the entire game, and I have no idea. I mean, I think I was just thinking like, I want 5, or I want 2, and I want 4, and somehow I feel like I got lucky and I got these the numbers on that roll of the time when I need it. So it's kind of strange, right? And maybe that is something that we should think about. Maybe it's not luck. Maybe it is our brain power that is speaking to us, that we're able to change reality. Maybe we're able to will it. I don't know. It's very strange. I think I used to tell people when I talk about brain, because I'm actually very interested in it. I don't know if you remember my last a few videos before that. I was talking about the app brain, and I always kind of interested in tidbits like that in the science, talking about brain, our minds, our psychology and whatnot. It's that like Einstein, like our brain power, we're only able to use a few percentage of our brain, and Einstein was able to use about 20% of his brain. And just imagine that, like if we're able to use 100% of our brain, which the scientist says we will not be able to survive very long, because to use 100% of our brain power requires a lot of energy and many geniuses, because the fact that you think that they're kind of the borderline of being genius and being crazy is because they use a higher percentage of their brain that maybe makes them act a little weird because they know so much, or perhaps they're just I don't know, us as human beings who normal IQ, we use only a few percentages of our brain, and that is nothing, right? So if we're able to use more of our brain, like even just 10%, I think that we can tap into a lot more energy and knowledge and potential that we will ever experience in our lives, because 20% will become Einstein, so that's why the things that he talks about, all his theories and whatnot, a lot of them don't understand still. Maybe we're just trying to understand it within using our normal brain power, like our normal mediocre, very, very weak brain power. But if we're able to think on his wavelength, then maybe we'll understand what he's talking about, right? So and I have always thought that's kind of, you're just born with it. You're born a genius, or you're born kind of like me, kind of just a normal person. But maybe that's not true. Maybe we can actually train ourselves, become a genius, right? And so yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this book. And I started to listen to it when I was driving, but in the beginning it tells you can listen to it, but you can't do the exercise while driving because you need to close your eyes for the exercises and you have to do them sequentially. So I will start it today and see how I feel. I really am very optimistic about this, because I really do feel like our brain is capable for a lot of things that we are not utilizing. And before, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to utilize my brain power. Maybe now with this book I'll be able to. Yeah, a lot of people who went through this Silva method has become very, very I won't say some of them are very successful people, powerful people, whatnot, but I think just become a better version of ourselves. And I think that's another step forward. Instead of just going forward to make money for ourselves, I think perhaps just be a better us. And maybe that will actually bring me have more control of my emotions and my brain and my life and everything that is around me. And hopefully that will make me a better person. So yeah, I'm sorry today's video is a little long, but I really want to get it out there so I won't forget all my thoughts. And when I look back maybe in the future, that I will see, oh, that's the day when I made that discovery, and that's the day where I made the breakthrough, maybe. So yeah, wish me luck. I will perhaps tomorrow or whatnot, then I'll talk about the dance camp. But as for now, signing off, peace, and I will go start the book. And also I have a potential adopter application for my foster cat, so I will be bringing her for a meet and greet in a little bit. So a lot of things, very busy, and I'll go from there. You have a good rest of the day.